Welcome back to the Black and White SU Open. Today we are starting off with the first couple replays from Winners Round 2. Sorry if there's pretty low energy in the commentary, it's pretty early for me. Got a lot to do today, so I'm just getting some of this done before. And looking at the matchup, I'm not super familiar with either of these people. I think it's DDJoe versus Kittencel. And looking at these teams, some interesting mons on Kitten's side. We see the Drillbur, probably the best spinner in the meta, but limited. It can do some decent wall breaking though, along with Kecleon, which is a lot of the time a special wall. Has recover and is very bulky and is less passive than Lickitung, but you don't see it super often. On the other hand, for Joe, we see what looks like a more conventional team, maybe leaning into the paralysis with the Octillery and the Vanillix and the Graveler. So let's roll. Oh wait, I should get some music on. Give me a moment. Is that? Alright, perfect. We got Void Stranger music. It is what it is. Alright. Octillery gonna start off with a Protect, and oh yeah, I forgot the most important thing about Kecleon. It says rocks. Yeah, and the color change actually gonna be solid for dealing with this Octillery after it gets hit with the Scald. It is now resistant to water. Though we do see the Energy Ball come out. Gonna do heavy damage to Fion. And let's see how we can deal with this Octillery. Energy Ball comes out, you're now a Grass type, that's perfect. Though you probably have an Ice Beam on the Octillery. Let's see what happens. Okay, either you don't or you're scared for that. And we do see a double into Electric. Solid swap. Eel gonna get fully paralyzed, and Gloom gonna be able to get some Paraflinched thanks to the Stench Gloom. Oh my god, and we're Paraflinching it? Oh. Oh no. Alright, Eel gonna get the knockoff, but I guess that's the power of Stench. Stench is a very, very niche ability. 10% chance to flinch on all moves. Gloom normally very slow, but if you're running the Stun Spore, or if you're on a paralysis heavy team, it'll work. Okay, Vanillix is going to be able to deal with this Octillery at the cost of a little bit of its health. Yeah, it is a 94, Octillery is gone. And this is looking like a very, very threatening mon, this Vanillix. We do see the Choice Scarf Vanillix, or maybe just winning the Speed Tie. Do we see Ice Shard from either? No, we don't. Okay. Instead, we're going to see Flash Cannon come out. Flash Cannon and Kecleon come out. And I think you should be able to safely recover on this, which is pretty huge. Or you're just going to return. I wonder if you're packing cover. Graveler is going to come in. Set rocks on Joe's side. So now we got rocks on both. That's going to limit the Vanillix quite a bit. Vanillix can only come in 2 more times. Though, I don't think it'll be too hard for Drillbur to get in and spin. We are going to see Gloom swap in for free when that happens. Yeah, Kecleon and Gloom both going to recover to full here. Very smart for Kitten. Yeah, and returns are going to do basically nothing with the burn and everything else. Yeah. Really all you can do is force a recover every once in a while. Whereas Joe's going to be draining a lot of Synthesis VP. We do see Drillbur come in on the Sludge Bomb. And going to be able to get the spin off at the cost of likely its life. Yeah, okay. This is a golden opportunity to get Vanillix in. And get a one-shot with that Ice Beam. Damn. Even with lefties at one-shots. Alright. Luxray is going to come in. Gonna force a switch into Fion, which, yeah, Fion's just gonna be sacked. This might be a choice band Luxray with that sort of damage. Graveler comes in. And a superpower, that is huge. You're gonna be able to two-shot this Graveler. Okay, or you're actually just gonna swap Kecleon. That's a really smart play. especially since I think Kecleon has mostly done its job at this point. Rock's going to come back up, but we are going to see a kill on the Graveler and Vanillix easily getting in. Is this Scarf or banned? It looks to be banned. Ice Beam not going to kill, and Luxray gets the kill with Crunch. Kecleon likely also going to drop. We're actually going to see a recover from Chimecho. A Calm Mind Chimecho would be absolutely... Okay, we do see the Calm Mind Chimecho. Missing a Toxic on the Kecleon. Missing again. Gets the Toxic eventually, and we are going to see a return as Chimecho goes down. Is this enough, though? The problem is... Oh, and a misclick with the Kecleon. Probably wanting to click Recover. Is Luxray going to be able to kill this? Let's see. No. And a Psychic will kill the Luxray. I don't think crit matters there. Damn. Alright, and Joe's going to win game 1. Unfortunate misclick to not go for the recover. I think you could have... One more turn of stalling, and I think the Toxic takes care of Chimecho, and you clean up from there, since the opposing Luxray is going to die to hazards. Alright, but we are going to go to game 2 now. We're looking at very vintage team from Kidden here. We got the Beartic as a breaker, the Volt Turn with the Luxray, Fearow, Electric, a Spinner, and Drillbirkin, really liking the spin to deal with spikes, and then the Corsola. Meanwhile, Joe has got the Beartic, the Octillery. Again, slow breakers, likely has Stun Spore on that Gloom, maybe on the Chimecho as well, and we'll see what happens. Lopunny goes against Fearow, going to be able to outrun and force it out. And let's see what happens. Corsola, oh, that's such a pretty shiny. Never seen it before. But anyways, we are going to see Corsola getting Rock's initiative here, as Gloom is going to miss a Stun Spore on the Electric, hits it on the second go, and going to get knocked off for that. And are we going to see Eel stay in for the free switch? Yes, we are. Gets parried. And is going to get U-turn. Okay. Congratulations, Electric, on not eating complete shit on that roll like the last game. Beartic setting up a really powerful sub. Yeah, we do see the sub punch. This is going to do huge damage to Octillery with the fighting gem. Oh, you're dead. Alright. Lopunny does come in, going to be able to like fake out, deal a bunch of damage there. And the leftovers Corsola means Lopunny's kind of going to be able to walk all over this Corsola. I mean, not really. It's still going to get walled, but it's going to be able to like last a lot longer, which is very, very worrying. We do get the Stun Spore on the Beartic. That's going to really limit it, especially considering, yeah. And we do get the full para instantly, which is pretty huge. In a double full para, as we see the calm-minded Chimecho begin to set up. Psychics on the third full para, no. Oh, paralysis is so balanced, guys. Alright. Fear comes in, hits a U-turn. One more of those is going to deal with the Chimecho. You're hoping that this actually does take a kill. It does not. Which means Chimecho is going to be able to recover. Yeah, okay. Fear comes in for one more. And I assume, do we see just another U-turn? We do see a return, actually. Big damage in the Pupitar, implying, I think, specially defensive Pupitar. But Pupitar going to be able to set rocks. Spinning off the rocks on an EQ, and I think you're just going to be able to EQ this. Really interesting. Okay. I guess just wanting to get that in. Drilbur comes back, and I'm worried if you predict the switch with an EQ. Okay, you're not. But you are going to get the spin off here in exchange for the EQ. But the problem is now the Drilbur is... Oh my god, Drilbur's still alive. Wow. Whew. And Chimecho's dead because of the Mold Breaker. And we are going to keep hazards off for the time being, but problem is, Pupitar, if it ever gets a chance to get in, for example, against the Corsola, okay. Okay, Pupitar is dead. Successfully keeping hazards off. Good job, Drilbur. This is one of the first times I've seen, so good job for Kidden for piloting them on really well in order to keep hazards off. Drilbur gonna get sacked to the Lopunny. This is the big issue. And I think Luxray is great here. Okay, you're actually gonna go for the Fearow. You can take a jump kick, that's smart. Return gonna kill without Eviolite, and we are looking at a really, really scary lineup here. Corsola comes in on the fake out. Corsola gonna be able to force this out, can go for a Scald pretty easily. Scalds it. If we get a burn, I think it's the end of the game, and we do. Yeah, and we're gonna see the forfeit. We're going to a game 3, the first I have commentated so far. And we got it right here. We see we see spinners on both sides of the building. For Joe, we have got that Pineco. Um, good. Its main niche really is the spikes plus rapid spin on the same mon. Its main problem is that it is a Pineco, which is not very good. Outside of that, we're seeing a lot of fast mons. We see a double electric core, very dangerous considering the lack of a ground on the opposing team. All we see is Luxray as an electric resist, and that could very well be an offensive Luxray. On the other hand, we do see Shelmet. This is another less common spiker. I feel like the main reason to run Shelmet at this point is definitely as a partner to Gloom because Badoo gives you a lot of type overlap. But interesting to see Shelmet being run on a team without Gloom. And we're actually also going to see the dual water. Very unfortunate matchup for the Luxray plus Plusle, but we're going to see the Fion as sort of a standard pivot, and then Hidden's spinner, which is going to be the Squirtle. And then other than that, you see some likely defensive variants of Macargo, of Luxray, of Trimeco. We're rolling with the Plusle lead versus the Shelmet. Plusle going to be able to outrun everything on this team and actually going to do a lot of damage. Yeah, and actually not even going to be particularly threatened by Shelmet, so this is really scary. Thunderbolt's Luxray, and this looks like a specially defensive Luxray from that sort of damage. But you are going to get some solid chip on it, which is really, really useful for Plusle and your own Lux. Lopunny in, and probably just going to push some damage on this. Or you're actually going to try to double on the Macargo. Yes, and you do get it. This feels like a golden opportunity to Swords Dance, and now this Waterfall is looking real dangerous. Okay, this is a physically defensive Shelmet. Waterfall's again hoping for the flinch, not going to get it. Yeah, and you are going to get forced out by the Shelmet. Shelmet going to get a lot of progress here, staying alive. Shelmet, the other big thing with Shelmet, it is straight up bulkier than Badoo. It has a lot. It takes hits better. Not a massive amount better, but oh my god, right. Yeah, no, Pineco is also a rock setter. It has spikes, rocks, and spin. Um, so that is the big thing. Okay, so are we gonna see the continual? Okay, we do see another spike get set, and are we gonna see the spin come out? I think the big problem right now is there's no spin blocker in either team, and these are both pretty passive lineups for the most part. So these spinners are actually going to be able to do their jobs. We see a sub DD set from Joe. Not going to be able to kill the Squirtle, and I think a Scald is just going to get it. Yeah, Scald's just going to get it out of there, and suddenly it is looking really, really good for Kitten. Though Plusle is going to get back in, going to get some more progress. Nasty Plots on the Luxray switch. Do we see anything that can hit electric types harder? We see the Hidden Power, but that's a 3-shot at this point. Pineco in, and I think spikes are staying up. Ooh, cussed up rocks. Okay, we do see the cussed up berry on Pineco. That's explaining how much damage it was taking. Um, Luxray in on the Chimeco. Again, just gonna continue to use rocks to threaten this team. Revealing physical, not great, because now I think Bacargo can come in. Or we see Shelmet actually come in and take some spikes. That makes sense as well. We're going to see the recover here, and then we're probably going to see a second layer come up on the Volt Switch into Plusle, yeah. Actually, we see the recover, okay. Yeah, Joe, can't believe my entire team is walled by a Shelmet. It is more likely than you would think. This Mon is kind of a demon. But we do see Plusle hit some absolutely diabolical numbers here, just one-shotting the Fion. I mean, at +2, but Luxray is almost dead. One more swap in for the Plusle and one more nasty plot, and it's gonna be able to deal with this Luxray. And I don't know what else deals with this. I mean, the spikes damage of the Toxic really are gonna be the main option. We actually see Rest on Luxray. Is this a this might be a Rest Talk Roar Volt Switch variant? So very defensive. If Drillbur was on the other side, you'd be kind of crying, I think. But we are gonna see Shelmet continue to wall this Crocodile. No. Oh, huge waterfall with the torrent boost, but is just gonna get recovered off. Bustle comes in. We're gonna see, and we see a forfeit here. Congratulations, Kitten, for winning round 2. All right, see y'all around.